just want to let you know that these issues of upholding values and so on, as far as I'm concerned, as I know, as far as Rwandans are concerned, we don't need any lessons from BBC or from anyone. I tell you this with firm conviction.
What's happening? To me, Paul Kagame is one of Africa's most influential leaders. And I know this is a controversial statement to make, but I do truly believe that he is one of Africa's best leaders, if not the best, that we've seen. And that's not to say that the man's not flawed. That's not to say that he hasn't contributed in the chaos that's happening in the DRC. That's been ongoing for the past 20 to 30 years, you know. But if I set that aside and focus purely on what he has done for Rwanda, like Paul Kagame is one of the best leaders we've seen. And so we're going to react on a video which was posted 3 years ago. And I believe this took part in Rwanda during the Commonwealth Summit or Commonwealth Conference. It was asked a question by the BBC regarding democracy and values. You know, the type of stuff they usually hit Africans with. And we'll react on his reaction to that question. Oh yeah, Paul Kagame usually speaks very slow. He's very calm and collected, like such a G. So I've had to speed up the pace in which he speaks. You know, so he's going to speak a bit faster than he usually does in his video. And yeah, let's get into this reaction.
Thank you very much. My name is Ansoy from the BBC. I have a quick question for President Kagame. As chair of the Commonwealth, I wonder what your priority will be, especially in terms of upholding the values of democracy and human rights, given that there's been a lot of scrutiny on your country and the record of your government, and critics have been pointing out the number of opposition leaders and journalists who are in prison. I wonder what your leadership of this organization is going to look like in the face of that.
Right. I think checking of facts is a serious problem with the very institutions we should have relied on to inform the public, the general public, the world, about some of these facts. Or whether the facts themselves or the interpretation of some of the things that actually happen.
Just really quick. Don't you think it's weird how they always ask African leaders about democracy and values? Like, you barely see them ask Western leaders about these things. Do you know what I mean? Like, these reporters from abroad, like, they let these presidents, these leaders go to their countries, and it's like they just corner them and start asking them about human rights violations, or they go to their countries and start asking them the same questions and interrogate them. But they never ask their own leaders at home these questions. Or if they do, it's usually in a way whereby they're not really cornered. Do you know what I mean? They're not interrogating them. Maybe unless it's Trump and it's like one of these platforms like CNN that dislike Trump. But even then, they usually approach it from a very respectful standpoint. You know what I mean? They're not condescending. And but yeah, it's weird that they always ask Africans these questions. But let's get back into it.
Now, let me start with the issue of values. Who defines the values? Or who doesn't actually have values? When people talk about values sometimes, there's one part of the world that has assumed the sole responsibility and the monopoly of defining values. So the rest of us have no values. We've just to keep learning from these ones who define the values. And by the way, the danger also is, it doesn't matter how long you take learning, you will never qualify. You will just always be branded somebody who has no values or who comes from a place where there are no values. So I want to put this case clear.
Yo, real shit. What's actually nuts is that if you look at that history, this ain't even too distant. This is quite recent, right? Some of these Western countries, like these beholders of values, have shown that they don't have values. I'll give you an example. Bill Clinton was caught having sex or engaging into sexual activities with a junior staff worker. That girl, what was her name? Monica Lewinsky. Was it Lewinsky? I think that was her name. Monica Lewinsky, something like that. Like, he got caught getting blows from a junior staff member. And when he was asked about it, he lied. He completely denied it and lied. And then when shit hit the fan, he confessed and told the truth. Like, these people have no values. Look at what Tony Blair did in the UK, invading another country under false pretenses. Like, these guys are war criminals. George Bush, you know what I'm trying to say, and the list goes on. Like, these people are fucking liars. They engage in invasions of other countries. Like, they war criminals allegedly. Like, it's crazy, but they're not really asked about values and democracies. You feel me? But yet they want to ask African leaders about values and human rights and democracies and all that nonsense. Let's get back into it.
Those from the north who always assume where BBC comes from, who always think they are the face of values, the rest have to follow. It's a big mistake. It's not true. We have values too. We here in Rwanda, in Africa, we do. No question about it. Second, there are some of these problems we have had in our continent, in Rwanda. Those from the north who define or want to define values have been part and parcel of these problems we have been facing. Some of them have actually been the cause of the problems we face. But at the same time, like the genocide here that took place here in Rwanda, where 1 million people over were killed. Well, I remember, if your memory serves you well too, I'm not inventing anything. The debate that went on at the UN, it was like, these developed rich countries, those who define values, simply took it like, these are just Africans killing each other. These debates were in the open. But you think that is true?
Yo, I remember doing research on the Rwandan genocide some time ago, right? And some of the comments that I saw from Western leaders or Western nations whilst the genocide was ongoing was incredible. These people spoke about the genocide and the people dying like they weren't even real human beings. You know what I'm trying to say? By the time they decided to get involved, it was too late. Like, a whole lot of people died. Like, they didn't even approach it like these people are human beings. So, again, when you think of the word values and them saying that Africans have no values, like, it's incredible that it comes from people who show a lack of compassion towards Africans. Like, they've done that time and time and time and again. And not just Western leadership, also the media. And for the same media to open their mouth and talk about Africans lacking values, it's crazy to me, man.
You think the divide that actually led to this genocide was just the creation of Rwandans? Not the people from the north who actually divided this country? Told people to think of themselves as belonging to one ethnic group and the other to think as belonging to another ethnic group, and therefore they should kill each other. Not only are they different, but they should kill each other. Would you believe that? Would you tell me that the 20 million people...
What he's getting at in what he just said is the Rwandan genocide. When you think about it, right, a lot of people don't really understand it. Now, quick history on it, quick background on it, is that after Germany lost World War I, they gave up Rwanda to Belgium. Belgium took over Rwanda. So what Belgium then did is they divided the country. So Rwanda has 3 ethnic groups. So you have the Twa, which are only 1% of the population. The Hutus are 14% of the population. And then you got the Tutsis. No, the Tutsis are 14% of the population. And the Hutus are 85% of the population. That's three ethnic groups. So the Hutus, the Tutsis, and the Twa, and the Hutus are the biggest. They were at the time, anyways, like they were like the majority of the country. So what Rwanda, what Belgium then did is they divided the country and they put the minority in charge. So they put the Tutsis in charge. So the Tutsis were like the second in command after the Belgian. So once Rwanda became independent and the Hutus took charge, that caused a whole lot of issues. There were bare dramas in the countries. Like the Hutus hated the Tutsis because the Tutsis were like the fucking, like the house N-word. I'm trying to say, were the second in command. They felt violated. And then the Tutsis hated them for that. And that's what led to the genocide. And when you think about the people who actually created the genocide, it was the same people talking about democracy and values. It was the West. It was Belgium. And before that, Germany. You know what I'm trying to say? So the genocide didn't just come from a vacuum. It came from these people destabilizing the country and dividing the country, and that led to a genocide. So yeah, again, it's funny when you hear them talk about values, and that's what Paul Kagame is getting at.
This is documented by other people, not by me, who were killed in the Congo, were killed by other Congolese in the old days of King Leopold. And you think all that just disappeared in a moment, then you had the savages coming over and taking over their own countries and killing each other, and then the others assume the higher ground, they are up there in the north and keep pointing fingers at those of us and think we have no values and we just are there to, we don't respect freedoms, we don't respect human rights. Sure, you think so? BBC, you think so? You take time, you broadcast, and from morning to evening, this is literally just abusing people. You're abusing Rwandans, you're abusing Africans, values. What values do you know, my dear sister, on behalf of BBC? So I want to assure you, there is nobody in the BBC or anywhere else thereabout who would be holding values better than we do here in Rwanda. Except if you just want to cover up.
Hey, I'm going to stop there. The guy said, "What values do you know, my dear sister, on behalf of BBC?" Hey, Paul Kagame is a G, man. Just look at how he speaks to these people and tells them about themselves, you feel me? Like, this is why I say, for me, is the best president in Africa. Like, the way he represents Africa and his country is dope. Like, could you imagine if Paul Kagame was the one who sat at the Oval Office with Donald Trump instead of my man from South Africa? Bro, you think he would have let Trump get away with that? And that's not to say that America, wouldn't still dominate Rwanda. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying, yeah, the person who represents you, do you understand, has to move a certain type of way in order for these other people to take you seriously. I don't think Trump would have spoke to Kagame like that. I think Trump would have known from the jump, like, you know what, this guy's serious. And I think if Trump would have tried that, Kagame would have let him know, like, yeah, listen, we don't play that game. Like, I'm not a dickhead, you feel me? So I fully respect Kagame. And it is quite incredible that a question of values is coming from the BBC. This is the same organization that protected guys like Jimmy Savile and many other guys just like him. The same organization that's getting rid of some of the superstar hosts just because they disagree with what's going on in certain countries. Do you know what I mean? For politics, they're getting rid of, they're sacking their superstars. And it's incredible to see that they're talking about values. You feel me? But yeah, man, shout out to Paul Kagame for what he's doing. Again, this is not defending what he's done in the past and the things that he might be doing currently in Rwanda and other countries. But I do respect how he handles himself and how he chats with these people when they try to lean on him. But yeah, man, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think below. I appreciate you. Love.